Mr. No Baggage here, No Bags. Wanted to do a quick video uh, on a couple things, just to give my perspective and opinions on a few things, and a lot of it is just based off what my concept is. So my concept is letting go a lot of things that have been holding you or other individuals back. And a lot of that is just mind frame. A lot of that is just things we've been conditioned to believe and think are the end all be all. I myself have gone through a lot of changes, and especially with this whole last 2 or 3 years within this, um, I'll say situation that we've been going through. I want to use something different from the verbiage that has been used the last couple of years. But I saw things differently. I saw a lot of manipulation from the media. I saw a lot of manipulation from people, and I saw a lot of confusion. And all of it wasn't ill or negative. I just saw my mind opened up. I saw how easily people are manipulated or brainwashed just based off of their own beliefs, even if they've never even lived the situation. So, the last few years taught me a lot, and I'm releasing old thoughts would have opened my mind to a different view, just in general. Um, so I wanted to start by discussing a couple of things that I saw. One was the coach in Boston. No judgment there. I don't know the whole situation. I don't know who all is involved. I don't know all of the aspects of that. I know he's a good coach, but professionalism doesn't always lean into how you are personally. And we all have some type of flaws to start there. We all have some kind of quirks. We all have some type of over, that's the word I'm looking for, over obsession with certain things. Some of us eat too much. Some of us over engage in our kids, our jobs, our careers. Some of us have addictions, alcohol. Myself, I drink or what have you from time to time. Some people have drug problems, gambling problems. So most of us have some type of issues, and I'm not quick to judge people because I don't expect people to be perfect. I don't know the whole details of that situation, but I know it's getting a lot of attention. So one source is saying it's not consensual. The other source is saying it was consensual. I don't know the details of the whole situation, nor do I care really. I really wanted to discuss a couple things around that. One, as a man, you have to be able to discipline yourself, not to be controlled by your sexual urges. I think even in Think and Grow Rich, the sexual urge is used to push that towards your passion, redirect that energy towards something that you're trying to accomplish, especially if you're trying to get rich. That's just one aspect of it. But not controlling your urges can cause you to lose everything. Unfortunately, even if it's consensual, it's an unprofessional situation. Even though in consensual situations, if it was on the other end, a lot of people would just be like, "Well, that's just a work husband." It's they both adults and it's just an affair. Well, when you're at certain levels, you can't do certain things, and I'm not judging him because people are wanting you to fail and make a mistake. People want you. They want to point the finger and say, "See, he shouldn't have got that opportunity." And I'm not judging, man. Who knows what that situation is. He could have been using his position of power or leadership to get that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. I don't know. But nevertheless, having that control over your sexual urges can help guide you and keep you out of situations such as this. I don't know what his home situation is. A lot of people talking about his wife, but we don't know what the situation is. We don't know how away from each other they are. You don't know whether they were separated. We don't know these things. So we jump on the bandwagon and say this person's wrong. We don't know. We are peons in a world that we only see bits and pieces of what someone else is going through. So my prayers and love go out to them. And I hope this is a learning situation for other people. One, stop judging. Stop judging. Stop judging. You know, I used to be one of the people that always, oh, you shouldn't cheat, you shouldn't do this. You don't know what you're gonna do until you're in a situation. We spend majority of our time at work, away from our significant other. You know, there's no excuse. Well, you know what? If everyone was perfect, then there would be no cheating, there would be no divorces, or anything like that. We're human. We make mistakes. The goal would be, if you're in that situation, one, make sure you want to get married. I don't even know if he was married. I think he was just engaged, but she was married, I heard. So I don't know if that's the truth. My point is, those two consenting adults, if it was consenting, then that's the choices that they made. And now they have to go through that course of action or correction and go with the consequences, because every negative has a consequence. Two, and these are just random things I'm thinking of. If he wasn't at that position, we would have never heard of this. This happens every day in jobs. Every day. Every day. That's just on the main level. People are sleeping with coworkers every day. Married, not married. You're around these people 80% of your day. I'm not going to even say but specific percentages, but 8 to 10 hours out of your day, you're around these people. You're talking to them. You're connecting with them. So I think they call it work husbands, work wives, and all of that. You know, some aren't sexual, but you know, you're still emotionally connected to them, to these people. Which to me, I think emotional affairs are worse than sex. Sex is a moment. Emotional affairs is to me an entirely different attachment, or as they would say, entanglement. So for me, I can't judge, but if you're emotionally tied to someone else, it's only a matter of time before it gets physical, and then you know separations start to begin at the home. So I don't know what that situation is. I guess what I'm trying to get at is knowing what your situation is. That's what we need to focus on. If you're married, what you need to do to make your marriage better. If you shouldn't be married, before you step out here and emotionally attach to someone else or physically attach to someone else, what do you need to do to separate yourself from that situation? Are you there just for the kids? Are you there just for the money? Be realistic. If you need an open relationship or you need to be out here with other people, be honest in your situation so you don't get this backlash the way that it is. Because a lot of people do have open marriages and open relationships. That's just a discussion that you have to have. I don't know if I'm, the type of person that would do that. But again, things change. As we get older and mature, we see things a lot differently. I can't judge someone that's having, other women outside of marriage or other men outside of marriage because I don't know the whole situation. We're supposed to make a commitment and stick to it. But a lot of people choose to change the aspect of their relationships. And that's not for me to judge. All I can say is you have to make the best decision for your life on what it is that you want, what it is that you and your person has decided to do in their relationship, and stop worrying about what other people think. Once you two make that decision, then you go from there. A lot of the times people don't want to commit, but they want the glitter and glamour of being married and then wonder why things are failing and falling apart. Because you never planned for anything. You never committed to anything. You never wanted anything. You just wanted to say, I got married because someone else did it. You just wanted to get married because it looks good. You wanted to get married because you've never been married before. Or you failed before and it didn't. You're doing all this for the wrong reason. And it's not a place of judgment, but it's taking a look at yourself to see, why do I do certain things? And getting rid of that thought process from the past. I need to do this because of this, or someone else said this, or I haven't done this by this time, I don't have kids. These are all things that are placed on our mentalities from someone else and from our upbringing. So we have to rethink what we've been taught, what we see, and think for ourselves. And a lot of people don't like that. And this won't get a lot of views because individual thinking is not a real thing. Most people want to be sheep or be led and wonder why a lot of things fail because they don't want to listen to anything that's opposed of them. Whether male, female, dog, cat, doesn't matter. Anything that opposes, that's why it's so easy for us to get around friends that enable us, that agree with everything we say. Oh man, you cheat on your girl. Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, you need somebody around you saying like, that's not right. That's not right if you're not in that type of situation. And it's not a judgment. You told them you're on the up and up. You're being faithful. You shouldn't have anybody in your circle applauding that. You shouldn't. You need to have someone in your circle that checks you. At least one person in your circle should be able to check you. I'm like, nah, that's not cool. Not if you sit up and walking around like you committed and faithful and all this, that, you know, in a third. You need somebody in your circle. If everybody around you like, yeah, he a dog, blah, blah, blah. All y'all do is sit around and talk about guys or talk about girls. You in the wrong circle, and y'all not gonna go nowhere. Y'all gonna continue that cycle for years to come. And when the next breakup and the next situation happens, it's gonna be the same cycle, time and time again, until you realize this is a dead end cycle. And sometimes it takes years, and sometimes people never heal from that. And then 30, 40 years go by, and then they look back on their life, and then they turn into this unhealed, bitter, angry. I'm not going to even use the name that it turns into, but all that damage and healing from over the years just turns into just a narc of an individual. I'll say it that way, a narc of an individual, to where they can't even see or think in a positive light, and they only see things one way, and none of it's their fault, even though they know deep down all of the decisions that were made in their lives were their fault. Until you take the time to really think about, like I said, what it is you want, what you want to commit to, and rethinking and reprogramming your mind, you won't if you end up in a situation where you're stepping out and you lose a major deal or a marriage or a relationship and it's your fault, then you could take a look back at what I could have done differently. This is how I was raised. This is how I was brought up. This is the good. This is the bad. You have to be the one that makes that decision. So I said all this to say, as an adult, anything you've gone through as a child, you have to assess that and see how that plays into your relationships today, good or bad. If you're in a place where you're questioning things, if you're not in a positive place, like everything's going good, I'm happy where I am, and I'm in the right career mode, business mode, relation mode. If you're not feeling that way, you always have these doubts, and you're in a cycle, look at what has played into your life from a kid. Look into what you were taught from since you were a kid. Look at the individuals, aunts, uncles, mother, father, or lack thereof. Look at it deeply and see how that plays into your relationships today. You're not just romantic, professional, business, and all of that. I would even go to say, even your sexual outtakes. What did your sexual behaviors come from? What was it used for? You got to really think, and a lot of people are afraid to take that time and really just think and sit with themselves. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid to look in the mirror and realize the demons that are there. And sometimes you have to embrace the demons in order to project or get to something better. But we're afraid of ourselves. That's why we're afraid to open up to others, because you're afraid they're going to see what's there. But once you realize what's there, you have a way to start working on that. You'll be able to not fear someone seeing that, what you've been taught, what you've been around, what you were raised around, or a previous relationship you've been with. Whatever, maybe it wasn't childhood, maybe it was just a relationship from years ago, a bad marriage, whatever the case may be. You have to dig deep, because some of these things that happen from adultery and different things are just byproducts of something that's not healed in us. So we make these decisions and we don't rethink. So I would just say with that, before you see somebody else doing something, don't judge them. They're going through something. They have a past. They make mistakes, and you just have to do what's best for you. And then if you're going through a similar situation, or you see things a certain way, you don't think it's the way you want it to be, then look at yourself, look in the mirror, dig deep, and start working on you. That's all I have to say. Just some random thoughts. No bags. Stay easy. Like and subscribe.